to the A15 Exchange. I am your host, Chris Crenshaw, and we are live from the 704 for episode 81 of the A15 Exchange. And well, a lot happened this week. A lot happened. Even though we had the departure of football, we still have plenty to talk about. We had All-Star Weekend, some stuff in the Olympics, and of course, like I said at the end of episode 80, the return of Champions League. So, still a full slate nonetheless, even though some of the sports going, some of the sports coming back, even though baseball is currently in around day 80 or 81 or so, I think, of the lockout. So, funny enough. But as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you are enjoying the content. And if you want to follow me on my social medias, they are in the description below. Same thing with timestamps. If you want to skip to the college basketball segment because you want to hear me talk about the Juwan Howard and Michigan situation or whatever, you want to go to the Roundup, hear me talk about the Daytona 500, whatever it is, feel free, skip below. Timestamps are provided in the description or just kind of in the video. It's labeled. Nice feature by YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. For dropping that for us creators. But without further ado, let's not waste any more time on this intro. Let's get straight to it, alright? All-Star Weekend. We're not even waiting for the NBA, even though it's technically speaking, I guess, the main event now of the sports world. We're going straight to the NBA. We're going to switch it up here. I normally do the NBA at the end. We're doing it to start it off. We're kicking it off, alright? All-Star Weekend. Let's see. Start off celebrity game before I get to the All-Star game, which was the highlight. Celebrity game, Myles Garrett needs a 10-day, man. I get my boy Myles a 10-day. Also, shout out to Tim Berry, gold medalist. You may remember him from the high jump, celebrated with his teammate, not fellow countryman, but his teammate, after they had a jump off and, they both won, whatever. Tim Berry, gold medalist. That putback was nice. He also showed a lot of effort. We need to get more athletes from, different sports. Having the celebrities also is, that's fine and dandy, right? Harlow had his contributions. Kevin Hart's got a history with it, right? But, seeing these athletes come and show off their different skill sets is always fun to see. But, yeah, Myles Garrett needs a 10-day, all right? My boy Myles needs a 10-day. Zion needs to get, even though I understand that Myles is a genetic freak, okay, people do not normally look like that, all right? Claim whatever you want. He's a genetic freak. All right, he's been like this since high school. The man is literally unironically built different. All right, but Zion needs to get in that type of shape. All right, that is the exact type of shape Zion needs to get into. But yeah, Myles Garrett needs a 10-day. Lakers pick him up. Rising Stars Challenge I like the new format. I'm not going to sit and lie. I like the new format. Cade Cunningham, of course, won MVP for Team Barry. I like the format. I was a little indifferent. I was like, dang. Because I somehow missed it being announced that they were trying this new format. So I was like, it took me by surprise, but I actually enjoyed it. Elam ending. I think it was, first to 50 or something like that. And you've got the 4 different teams. Of the pool of rising stars, and it made for some interesting, very, very interesting games and some exciting games, some interesting combos. But yeah, Cade wins MVP, he held it down. Jalen Green went off in that first game. Should have drived. My thing with Jalen, because he did not have a great All-Star weekend. He got blocked by Sadiq Bey. On that play, which he could have just drive to the basket. All right, I feel like he settles, and I get it's a Rising Stars game, so it wasn't really for real, and he was messing around, right? But he does it also in the real game. I want him to just be more aggressive. Drive to the rim. You're Jalen Green. Stop settling for the 3. I get it. You developed the shot. It's something I've said before with him, right? I get it. You're trying to be, a crafty type player, shooter, but drive to the basket. You're a fantastic finisher at the rim. Alright? You got buddies, even though you didn't showcase them on Saturday. Alright? Just drive to the rim. Dunk on them. Crafty layup. This is what you did. This is what you did all high school, right? And I don't know why you went away from it, even though it's the easiest of your skills, as athletic and as twitchy and as talented as you are, to translate to the NBA, but he's gone away from it, and I think that's the thing that takes him to that next level, even though he's been playing better before the All-Star break. And also Silas is just not using him right. But that's neither here than there. Rising Stars Challenge, I like the new format. All-Star Saturday, I don't even really want to talk about it. I don't even know who won the Skills Challenge. They might as well let the three-point contest be the main event. Cat, a big man, a center, winning the three-point contest with 29, by the way. Yeah, Cat, ridiculous. I think he's 7th all time in true shooting, by the way, which I don't think a lot of people realize. He's kind of getting overshadowed in the year of the big man because he plays in Minnesota and the Timberwolves are not really a factor. But Cat is still one of the best big men in the league. Do not get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. If they can keep building around Ant and him, that Timberwolves team could be very, 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 very dangerous. He's one of the best big men in the world. You don't need to give Cat his flowers. Dunk contest, like I said, I don't really want to talk about it. Obi Toppin wins. Kareem walked out. I didn't even watch it. I watched the first part of it, but then the misses started, and I was like, all right, yeah, this ain't it. When Cole was in the Timbs, even though he eventually got it when I turned away, after I saw it go for 6, I started getting secondhand embarrassment. I couldn't watch it anymore. All right, dunk contest needs to just put it before the three-point contest. All right, the three-point contest is the new dunk contest. Okay, and I think it's a thing of, I feel like we're kind of running out of ideas. We're running very dry. Besides, actual professional dunkers on the level of things we can do in the dunk contest. I'm not gonna lie. In terms of creativity, how many different ways can you still dunk a basketball that we have not seen? So I think it's becoming increasingly harder. And then some of it, maybe it was nerves on Saturday, right? Jay Green had a billion misses. I don't know why they don't limit the misses anymore. But some guys I think they're just better in-game dunkers. They're just better. They're fantastic in-game dunkers, right? I can almost guarantee Jalen Green is going to have a couple more dunks this year that are better than the product he put out on Saturday. Same thing with Obi, even though Obi won, right? So I think some guys are just better in-game dunkers. Everybody says Ja, and wants to get Ja Morant, obviously, into the dunk contest, but I feel like Ja's a better in-game dunker than he would be, dunk contest dunker. It's an interesting scenario. Greg Brown should have been in it. I think he might be he might have done well in this format, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Dunk contest is washed. It peaked with AG and Levine, and we're never going to top that. All-Star Game. The main event was actually the main event. Ever since we introduced the Elam ending, the All-Star Game has become the crown jewel that is promoted as of All-Star Weekend. It's the highlight of All-Star Weekend. And we had yet another classic All-Star Game. LeBron just continues to be Legion. Legion is undefeated in the All-Star Game, 5-0. Team LeBron seemingly cannot lose. I don't know what KD was doing when he decided to pair, somehow, some way, let Bron get Giannis, Curry, and Jokic. I don't know how it happened, but anyways, Team LeBron gets it done. Chef Curry dropped 50. He eviscerated the three-point attempts and attempts made record for the All-Star Game, which was previously held by, I think, PG, went 9-19. Curry had 16 and 27. He went for the All-Star Game points record, but went cold. So the King back home, well, he did what he does best, clinched the game, ended the game. Went with the signature LeBronto fadeaway. I'm sure DeMar had a little bit of war flashbacks, but it probably felt very well to be on the good side of a LeBronto fadeaway. And of course, he was never missing that, even though for a second I thought he was. But of course, the King in Cleveland, it was never going to miss, and it had to be him in the game. And LeBron did just that. The NBA 75 stuff was really cool. Damian's a fantastic player, but let's be honest, Damian Lillard is not supposed to be on that stage. But yeah, the NBA 75 stuff was really cool. Got to see Jordan and LeBron meet up. Got to see a lot of greats meet up. It was great to still see that. And yeah, see you in 25 years, I guess, for NBA 100. We'll see what that looks like. But probably see some of the guys from this year's All-Star team in that NBA, top 100 players of all time. So, yeah, very, very cool. Overall, very, very good All-Star weekend. Despite the shenanigans that happened on Saturday, it was overall still a very, very good All-Star weekend. And, yeah, we'll see what happens the rest of the season. My, mid-season awards very quickly. I'd say MVP I'm going to give to Joel Embiid. Not that y'all asked, but Joel Embiid, I'd say, is my preseason MVP. Preseason Rookie of the Year, I would say, preseason, mid-season Rookie of the Year. It's tough. I'd probably say, I'd probably give it to Mobley, which feels weird because I was a little bit down on him going into the year, right? But I think he's played well enough to justify Rookie of the Year. Cade's also played really well lately, so I think Cade's definitely in contention. Giddy, if he can keep up what he's doing, could get in contention. If JG can play the way he was playing before the All-Star game and the Rockets step it up a little bit, I can see him getting back in the conversation. But yeah, should be an interesting Rookie of the Year race and an interesting MVP race as we head down the second half of the season. Now heading over to a subject we usually start the podcast off with. We usually start 8:15 off with soccer, when Champions League is back. And well, the round of 16 began this week, so we're going to head to it for the second topic of the day. And my, Manchester City. I don't know what Sporting did to Manchester City, but I mean they beat the brakes off them. It was never close. It was never close. Never close. Bernardo Silva has played like one of the best players in the world. I'll talk about the best player in the world a little bit later. But Bernardo Silva's been great. He's been great lately. He had the brace in this game. Riyad Mahrez, Raheem Sterling, Phil Foden also get on the scoreboard for Man City in this game, and they crushed Sporting 5-0, and that should be good enough to advance to the quarters. I would fully expect, unless bar a historic collapse, I think Man City's got it in the bag. In the big game of the week, we had PSG taking on Real Madrid. Of course, the big story was the Prince of Paris, the future best player in the world. And well, after this game, I'm not sure if it's so much future best player in the world as we need to start having a conversation of whether Kylian Mbappe might be the best player on the planet right now. I tweeted this out, and so did a lot of people. The things that Kylian Mbappe did to Danny Carvajal in that game, he should be charged. He should be charged with assault. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. It was dominant. Absolutely dominant. Even though they scored only one goal, it had to be Mbappe, of course, against potentially his future team, or at least his dream club in Real Madrid, right? It had to be him, and of course he scores in the 90th minute, right? Ends the game. Pretty much a walk-off nearly. Off of a ridiculous goal, by the way. The back heel from Neymar, then Mbappe takes it in, splits through Lucas Vazquez and Carvajal. Or no, it wasn't Carvajal. Who was it? Mulatto, yeah? Was it Mulatto? Splits the two of them, and then nutmegs Courtois after Courtois played the game of his life. Really was man of the match up to that point. If it had ended in a draw. It was insane. I don't know how he was an incredible goalkeeping performance. But then Mbappe puts it through his legs to win the game, and all the glory goes to him. Those shout to Courtois, phenomenal performance. But Mbappe, we need to have this conversation. All right, I know what happened at Euros is what happened, but besides that, the dude has been phenomenal. And I think a conversation needs to be had on whether he might be the best player in the world. It might be destiny fulfilled before he even reaches what we believe will be his peak. Messi in this game wasn't as good, had his moments. Hasn't been as good on PSG. Ronaldo's been in a funk. Lua is Lua. All right, Lua is Lua. I'm not going to sit here and act like Lua's not Lua. And of course, a lot of Liverpool fans are pulling up Mohamed Salah, who we'll talk about a little bit later. But I think Mbappe might be the best player in the world right now. You guys can let me know what you feel, but dude has been on an absolute tear this year. We'll see what happens in that second leg. Should be very interesting in the Bernabeu. Bayern takes out, Bayern should have taken out Red Bull Salzburg, but weren't able to. Salzburg held on for dear life and got an impressive 1-1 draw. A downward got on the board for them, but Kingsley Coman in the 90th minute clutched it up for Bayern, prevented the L, and Bayern controlled this game. I mean, they controlled this game. By all means, they controlled this game, but were only able to get out with a 1-1 draw. For normally, I would say that should be mildly concerning, but it's Bayern, defending champs, probably on paper the best team in the world. You would think they got in the second leg, but for now, a very, very close first leg. And Liverpool handled business, like I said. Salah got on the board for Mino. Took a while, but Liverpool able to get it done versus Inter 2-0. Should be enough to take them by. Liverpool been doing very, very well. Salah has been incredible. Top 5 player in the world. Very, very, very good. Very, very good argument for top 5 player in the world with his recent form. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Salah's been playing well. Liverpool's been doing their thing. Think they got in the second leg as well. But that was Champions League, week 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now to head over to entertainment. Well, music, again, no album drop. Now, allegedly, Donda 2 is dropping tomorrow. All right, allegedly. Now, we'll see if it actually happens. I don't think it's actually going to happen. He's also trying to drop it on Stem Player, which I guess is his new platform. Listen, it's going to go platinum on Mega, alright? It's going platinum on Mega. And shout out to all y'all in Dropbox as well. Y'all getting it on SoundCloud as well. Got to give a shout out to y'all creators for what y'all about to do. If it theoretically comes out tomorrow, it's not coming out tomorrow because it's EA. Alright, first off, it's EA. It's not coming out tomorrow, but allegedly it's coming out tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Alright, if I'm wrong, you'll know because you'll probably be watching it on the day it comes out. Nail Tech by Harlow. Alright, Jack Harlow returned with all the momentum of the world after being named White Boy of the Year. He was kind of White Boy of the Year last year, and it looks like he's going for a repeat. Nail Tech, I mean, he's talented. He's legitimately talented. It was a solid song. Made the playlist, but it wasn't nothing crazy. I'm be honest, it wasn't nothing crazy. He didn't give us the bars. I will give him that, but it felt a little safe. Which understandable given his position currently in the game and the expectations he has coming up due to his popularity and to the hype around Jack Harlow currently. But wasn't too crazy, but still solid song. Check out the music video and check out Nail Tech if you haven't already. I will give it the cosign. Attack on Titan. As we get closer and closer to the season finale, which is not going to, spoiler alert, is not going to end. Alright, it's not going to end with the rest of the story. Alright, they're not finishing the story. We're either A, getting a part 3, or 2, getting a movie. Alright, I would prefer it in episodic form, but I think we're going to get a movie after they saw what happened with Demon Slayer. So, Attack on Titan. Flock is a prick, okay? Flock is still a prick. He's always going to be a prick, and he always will be. Just grimy. He's Aaron's lapdog. And I don't even think Aaron really messes with him like that. But he idolizes Aaron, and he's just fulfilling his mission. He's out here killing them all. It's, it is what it is. Flock is, he's a alright. It's who he is. Annie woke up, got to see her and Hitch reunite, and Annie kind of telling the story, letting everybody know that, hey, I heard everything that y'all were talking, I heard, alright, I was still conscious in that stasis. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens when her and Armin meet back up, because as we all know, Armin is been feeling Annie. But yeah, interesting to see her and Hitch's dynamic, as it's evolved due to her being in stasis. She did hear what Aaron had to say, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And of course, Armin, speaking of the boy, he is sad. He is very, very sad. It's a stressful time. Your best friend is committing genocide. Your other best friend is lost because your best friend is committing genocide. And you got the weight of the world, it feels like, on Armin. So he kind of had a little bit of a break. He said that he was the wrong person to bring back, and they should have brought back Smith. But listen, Armin, it's going to be okay, buddy. It's going to be. We believe in you. We believe in you. All right. You haven't failed us yet. I don't think you're gonna fail us here. We believe in you. Keep your head up, young soldier. Piek. All right. Piek found Hanji and Levi. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Levi is not dead. Not that you thought he was dead. Maybe you did, but come on, it's Levi. All right. It's Levi Ackerman. Okay. I get that we've killed major characters, but they're not going to kill Levi, all right? They're not going to kill Levi Ackerman before he gets whatever, even though he's basically half dead, and I don't know which limbs he still has to even work the ODM gear, but nonetheless, Levi and Hanji found by Piek. We'll see what happens there, and if it seems like there might be an alliance between the Marleyan soldiers, like Piek, like, Rainier. Might be a little bit of a reunion with his old friend, so we'll see what happens there and what goes on. Euphoria, the play. Ethan went ballistic. All right, Ethan heard what Kat said and bro went off. All right, he went off. That ending scene of the play was glorious. Also a little bit much. I get it, but it was over the top. It was supposed to be a little bit much for me, but fantastic performance. All right, Ethan carried. Get that man a Tony, get that man an Emmy, get that man a Grammy. Him and Lexi went ballistic. All right. However, I would be concerned also for Fez and Ass because I don't know what's about to happen there, but I would be concerned for their health. All right. I'm concerned because Nate might kill them, but after seeing that ending credits where we got the to be continued with Cassie looking like she came off a horror set for Carrie, I'm worried about their health. Seen that preview, I'm worried about their health. There ain't no telling what Cassie is about to do. She is too far gone. Okay? Ain't no telling what she is about to do to her sister and Ethan. Rue, this was the most sober Rue has been all season. This is the clearest her thoughts have been in 2 years. Okay, the Howard mom, Susie, she was enjoying it, having a blast, so that was cool. It felt like an ode a little bit to Mean Girls. So yeah, that was cool. What else happened? Play. Very high budget. It wasn't too crazy. But still very high budget for high school, and I don't know how they got away with some of the material. But another great episode of Euphoria. Shout out to Sam Levinson and the crew at HBO for another great episode of one of the best shows on telly. Now, heading over to the Olympics. Yes, let's talk about the Olympics, because we do have some stuff to talk about. We mentioned hockey last week, and we had our conclusion to it this week with the women. Marie-Philip Poulin, all right, she's up there with Wickenheiser. I'm going to be honest. She's up there with Wickenheiser in terms of greatest women's hockey players of all time. Her third career, a third career gold medal game clinching goal, which is ridiculous. Avenged the loss to us 4 years ago. Well, now 5 years ago. No, it was 4. Yeah, it was 4 years ago, 2018. But she had 2 goals. I think, was it Kia Nurse? Not Kia Nurse. One of the Nurse sisters, right? Or was it Kia? No, it wasn't Kia. Kia was the basketball player. One of the Nurse siblings, I think, got an assist as well, got a point. But MPP, best women's player in the game. Undisputed. It hurts. It hurts to lose to Canada. Hurts to lose to our rivals all the time, but it is what it is. I know we did a monster number, so that's great for women's hockey. I'm all for the growth of that sport and the upbringing because you have some phenomenal players. Hillary Knight for us, MPP for them, so yeah, that should be highlighted. So yeah, all great. Congratulations to Canada. Finland gets the gold medal for the first time ever over the ROC. We're going to talk about Russia after this. But Finland beats the ROC 2-1, their first time ever winning a gold medal in hockey. So shout out to the fantastic Finns. Word to Johnny. Juraj Slavkowski, stock went through the roof. The Slovakian forward, only 17. I think he's 6'4", 225. Shane Wright's got some competition for number 1 overall pick, it appears. 7 goals in Olympic MVP at 17. with his size and his talent, yeah, Shane Wright's got some competition. It's going to be interesting to see. We got some special, I think 2 very special drafts coming up in the NHL in 2022, and especially in 2023 with, of course, Bedard, who's supposed to be the next one, and also Michkov, who could be, is getting a little bit of OV comp. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Slafkowski made a statement at the Olympics. What a performance for the 17-year-old. Gymnastics. All right, I wanted to make a video on this a little bit earlier when it was a little bit hotter, but we're going to talk about it now. Simply put, Eric should never, ever be able to coach in another Olympics, really any other women's gymnastics program, competition, or team ever again. All right, it is absolutely disgraceful. It is a disgrace what is going on with Russia overall as a program, but especially with their gymnastics program. It is a disgrace. It is disgusting. Disgusting. Of course, the big story, one of the big stories of the Olympics, the women's gymnastic favorite, 15, all right, I want to emphasize this, 15-year-old Kamila Valieva got caught with 3 different substances and got called for doping. Caught in a doping scandal, they still let her compete. She couldn't win a medal, apparently, I think, but they still let her compete, all right? First problem. How is it, before I even get to what happened on Wednesday, right? How is it that a 15-year-old gets caught for doping? That is so ridiculous and pathetic that your program is giving PEDs, steroids, doping, whatever you want to call it, to children. A 15-year-old is a child, and they are caught up in a doping scandal. That is inhumane. That is, there's not a word that with a negative connotation that I cannot use for that type of behavior. You should be banned, stripped of everything. That is disgusting. A 15-year-old caught up in a doping scandal, which is ridiculous, like I said. And then we get to Wednesday, and we have the greatest travesty to ever happen in the history of, I said women's gymnastics, excuse me, women's figure skating, all right? The darkest day in women's figure skating history. Even worse than the whole Tanya Harding day. Much worse. I have never in my life seen a meltdown in this fashion. A meltdown in the way that even the gold medal winner from your program, Anna Shishkabov, or Shishkabova, Anna Shishkabova, who won the gold medal, sat in tears looking depressed. And she won. So she's sitting over here to the side, depressed, all down. Her teammate, who you've pitted against each other, you've put these girls against each other, right? Which is unhealthy. Besides all the regiment and the, not letting them eat and all the other weird and inhumane stuff. Like this is a concentration camp that you're running, right? As a coach. Besides all that stuff, right? You have the girl that got second, Alex Trusova, in tears, furious, saying that she never wants to figure skate again. These are 17, 18, 15-year-olds having a meltdown. She just won the silver medal. It should be a great time. Maybe a little disappointed you didn't win. But she's having an all-out breakdown on national, not even national, international, worldwide, global television in one of the biggest events of the Winter Olympics. Having a full-down breakdown after winning a silver medal, saying she wants to never do this again. And then you have Valieva, the 15-year-old, the favorite, who was entrapped in the scandal, has been under pressure, and has been hounded all week by the press. Because Eric won't take any type of, acceptance of consequence. doesn't have the integrity to do that, to help your student out and face this criticism. Instead, Valev crumbles in front of the international stage, falls multiple times, still gets fourth, right? And then she has a breakdown leaving the ice, breaks down on the ice actually, has a breakdown leaving the ice, and the first thing the camera gets when you come and meet her is, you actor, why didn't she hold it? Why didn't she do better? Erin should face criminal charges for what she's doing. In Russia, I don't understand. I know the IOC president came out and denounced him or whatever, but how long does Russia's Olympic program, how long and in how many different sports do they have to violate the ethics code? How many times do they have to get caught doping? How many times do they have to cheat? How many times does stuff like this have to happen on an international scale for the ROC to finally put their foot down and stop letting Russia bend them over? How many times? That's my question. How many times are you going to be gutless and just let them, do what they want and harm these athletes? And I'm not even talking about the grown athletes they harm. I'm talking about, in this case, literal children with their whole lives ahead of them, feeling nothing but doom and gloom and hating the sport that they are supposed to love, that they do at the highest level. Crying, breaking down after winning a silver medal, saying you are never going to do this again. The gold medal winners, supposed to be in the greatest moment of their career, of their life, sitting off to the side, depressed, not wanting the camera near them. The Olympic favorite, the one supposed to be the golden girl of your program, the shining example, the face of women's figure skating, and she's breaking down because of what you've done to her. How long do they get away with this before they get banned? That's my only question. Because you can't let them continue to get and put this is disgusting. This is disgusting. That's the best way I can put it. It's disgusting. Revolting. Shameful. Ban them. Ban them. Simply put, give them a ban. Make them understand. I'm sure other, countries are finding a way. I'm not saying USA is perfect. I'm not saying, Ukraine's. I don't know. All right? Or Spain. I'm not saying that other groups don't have their problems. Other countries don't have their problems with their Olympic program. But how many times does Russia get to do what they do and get away with it and do stuff that is an absolute disgrace, not only to the sports, but to the Olympics as a whole, and to really just athletics as a whole? How many times do they get to do these things and get away with it? It's absolutely pathetic on all parts. Shameful. Absolutely shameful. I hate to end the Olympic segment on this kind of a note, but it's disgusting. It's disgusting. That's the best way I can put it. Like I said, it's revolting. Get a grip. Get a grip. All right, and naturally, we're going to head over to college basketball because we got to keep the drama going, right? We have to keep the drama going. We had the drama of the Olympics, what I just talked about. And now we have the drama of Wisconsin versus Michigan. Now I'll talk about the game. Of course, Wisconsin win. They handle business 77-63. That Michigan team continues to underachieve after, once upon a time they were ranked, I think, preseason number 4. And now I don't even think they're going to make the tournament. Hunter Dickinson did what he does, 21 points. Great game for Dick. Johnny Davis continues to be one of the best players in the game, 25 for Johnny. Led the team, blah, 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 blah. Superstar showed up. And then Juwan Howard threw a punch. All right. After the game, really towards the end of the game, of course, Michigan kept their starters in. For whatever reason, Juwan deemed that, or whatever. He's the coach. Kept them in, and they were full court pressing. Nebraska, of course, Wisconsin had their starters long gone out, had the bench players, the walk-ons, and they were having trouble, breaking the press. So Juwan took issue with that after timeouts were called, right? For whatever reason. Naturally, can't break the press. Michigan's full court pressing, even though the game is done. It's finished. I'm not going to make that comeback. Maybe he just wanted them to play to the end of the whistle, whatever it is, all right? So they call timeout to, help break the press and make it a little bit easier for their players to help finish out the game. Juwan Howard takes issue to that, puts his, has an altercation, in the handshake line, with an assistant coach, and then he hits another assistant coach. Full out meltdown from Juwan Howard. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to watch, and I'm not even a Michigan fan, all right? I feel like it was a culmination of the frustration of the game and taking the L, a frustration of how frustrating this season has been for Michigan basketball as a whole. And I think it culminated yesterday. I think it hit its apex. With that said, Juwan, regardless of what happened, unless he said something super out of pocket, no reason for that to happen. I think he should be suspended. And he could be fired. And it wouldn't be unjust. All right, they haven't been a good team. Far less of the team that they are supposed to be and could be. So we'll see what happens there. But disgusting behavior there. Texas Tech takes out Texas. All right, Chris Beard is in the ditch. All right, somehow Texas Tech got better without him. Adam stepping up to the plate, and they just kept going. Bryson Williams, we've seen him step up a couple times, and we've talked about him before on this podcast. He had 17, leading Texas Tech. Drew Jones had 20. This was an ugly game. By all means, shooting percentages below 40%, or close to 40%. It was an ugly game. All right, it wasn't a pretty game to watch, but Texas Tech brings out the broomsticks and gets the win over their big-time rivals, Texas. Also, the added rivalry of losing your coach to them. It just probably a very, very very, very Carthage game for Red Raiders fans. And Tortilla goes out, Texas Tech wins come in. What is it? Tortillas go in, Texas Tech wins come out. There we go. Sweep against Texas. We'll see how they do there in the tournament, but they're looking kind of dangerous. Florida takes out Auburn in the big upset of the week. 2 straight weeks, 2 straight weeks. The curse continues for Auburn. I don't know what it is about these former number 1 teams and just crumbling. We've seen Gonzaga rise back to the top, but Auburn, a little bit of a crumble here. Not the end of the world, but a little alarming. Tyree Appleby has a career game, 26 points for him, helps lead, and he took over late. Jabari Smith, 28-7. Number 1 pick. All right, him, Cheddar, Paulo, pick. I don't know if you can really go wrong with either 3 of them. They've all been fantastic, especially lately. I would say Chet and Bari a little bit more than Paulo, though Paulo's getting back on track, so I ain't too worried as a Duke fan. But Bari 28-7, but kind of shut out, kind of ghosted a little bit by Auburn there in the closing moments. I don't know why Wendell Green thought he was the guy shooting, I think, 0 for 4 up to that point and 2 for 9. I don't know what he was thinking I'm the guy to, take this shot. But it wasn't supposed to be you, my boy. All right? It wasn't supposed to be you. You give that to your best player in Jabari Smith or maybe Walker Kessler, and you get out the way. You let them do what they do, and you let them try to win that game. But nonetheless, Florida takes out Auburn. Congrats to the Gators. And now, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the Roundup. And we had a UFC fight night. We had it was headlined by Jamal Hill versus Johnny Walker. And in vicious fashion, Jamal Hill KO'd Johnny Walker. It's crazy to think, Johnny Walker was once the next big thing potentially in that light heavyweight division. It just didn't work out. It just did not work out. And here, Hill KO in the second round, big win there. Hill gets back on track. We'll see where he goes from here. Johnny Walker, he's still a nice novelty. He's a solid character, but I don't think he's going to win a championship. I think the hype train is officially dead. Austin Cindric wins the Daytona 500. Congrats to Austin, former Xfinity Series winner, and probably a lot of people alongside Harrison Burton, who was having a great race. A great race before getting caught up in a crash early on. Cindric, probably the favorite for Rookie of the Year, seamlessly hopped into that number 2, which formerly belonged to Brad Keselowski, and he gets it done at Daytona. Another exciting finish. You know, Daytona always delivers. Always delivers. You can always count on the overtime period. And yeah, we got one. Cindric wins it in his first race of his rookie year. And it's really, I guess, kind of almost his first attempt at the Daytona 500. Might be a second, but I guess his first as a full-time driver. So yeah, congrats to Cindric. We'll see what happens the rest of the season, but NASCAR is indeed back. What an exciting time. I feel like the talent pool is kind of refreshed. We had a couple of years where it was like a little bit down, and we had like a transitional period, but we got some very interesting young drivers on the up and up. So yeah, should be a very interesting season to see if Kyle Larson can repeat as champ. And to end off, we're going to end off on some madness, all right, on a lighter, funnier note compared to some of the serious topics we talked about earlier. Michaela Moore, a reverse hat trick against Team USA's, the U.S. Women's National Team in soccer. I have never in my life seen, I'm not sure if it's ever happened, a reverse hat trick, all right, a hat trick of own goals. I mean, that's implausible. I don't know if that's ever happened in a soccer or football game, whichever you talked about, whether you're EU or NA. I don't think that's ever happened. I certainly haven't heard of it. A hat trick of own goals from Michaela Moore. USA gets the win over New Zealand 5-0, but that was just nuts, and I had it included here in the roundup. That was, I don't know how that happens, but it did. But yeah, sleeper agent Michaela Moore gets it done, man of the match, woman of the match for us. Well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, that's episode 81. I hope you guys have a great week. Next week, well, 2 weeks from now, we'll get the Batman, but next week the Batman comes out, so very excited for that. Spring break also coming up for us college students. It feels like the month of February went by way too fast. All right, way too fast. But, like I said, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed episode 81. Ocho, signing off.